Hey y'all, welcome to Talking Tale, the podcast where we talk about real life, we get real opinions, and we're healing out loud, okay? It's your host, your girl Candace Tale, and y'all, I'm about to say this. It took me a lot to think about this, and I had to contemplate about it, and I was letting God lead me, and this is what He has led me to. It is our final episode of season one. Like, no, like so serious. So I've been playing back and forth, like, okay, how many episodes do I want to have in a season? How long is a season? Is it 50 episodes a season? Do you keep switching seasons? I don't know, right? So I was like, I was thinking, like, how do other people do it? You know what I mean? Should I go pay attention to other people's podcasts and see what they do? And I was like, you know what? If I'm saying that I'm being led by God with this podcast and doing what God has called me to do with this podcast, I just need to listen to my heart. And my heart kept telling me 15 episodes. And I was like, do I want to do 15 or 18? Because y'all know I like the number 8. I'm getting a shiner, y'all, like a huge shiner. Okay, y'all know I got squirrel brain. Okay, back. Something, I don't know why I say something. Like, that something is just like me saying that word just knows that, like, I'm still struggling a little bit with just trusting my true intuition. So I really need to change that. I know that it was 15 because 15 was the first number. 18, it was something that I kept going back and forth about just because, I like the number 8. Yeah, today is the last episode of the season. So that means consistency for 15 weeks. I know I keep talking about this, but that's so big for me. And I know a lot of people struggle with that. So I want to be able to show that if I can stay consistent at something for that long, really something that is, I don't know where it's going, where it's taking me, what I'm supposed to be doing with it. I'm sorry, I'm moving my mic. I just wanted to be a little closer. But I say all that to say that, yeah, I have to acknowledge it because I'm proud of myself. So I was like, so 15 episodes, that's been the whole first quarter of this year. Like, y'all, April 1st is Wednesday. We are through the first quarter of the year already. Can y'all believe it? Because I can't. I'm like, January, February, March is over. Done. Finito. Like, my birthday is in 60 days, y'all. What's today? Is today the 30th? Yes. Today's April 30th. No, I'm sorry. Lord Jesus. That's how something wrong with me. March 30th. Today is March 30th. My birthday is May 30th. Y'all, I will be the big 4-0. Okay? 60 days. I can't believe it. And I recorded my first podcast for the first quarter of this year. The first episode dropped on Christmas Day, December 25th, 2025. And now here we are today on March 30th recording. This will drop actually April 2nd. This will drop April 2nd on Thursday. The last episode of the first season. I'm okay with, yes, 15, half of 30. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I like my numbers. So 15 is half of 30. Okay. So every season we doing 15 episodes. So I just don't know, like, when I'm gonna drop season 2. I'm gonna take a little break. I ain't gonna hold y'all. I think probably like only 2 weeks though, or something like that. I really just want to work on season 2. I want season 2 um to look different, feel different. I'm bringing in guests for season 2. This podcast, since the beginning, was always created for guests. I always wanted to have open conversations with people, not interviews, conversations about life together, right? I just been trying to figure out how does that look? How do I do it? How do I curate it? Who do I get to talk to? So I'm letting God lead and guide me on that. So season 2, it won't just be me. But I think God needed to do season 1 with just me. I needed to introduce myself to the people, whoever's watching, whoever's going to go back and watch, to just Candace, right? Before I got on this mic and just started to talk to y'all with other people. I believe I know season 2, changing our words. I know season 2 is going to be, I don't know the word that I want to use for it, but it's going to be intentional. Season 1 was intentional too, but season 1 was really intentional about showing my audience who I am, but also showing myself who I am, also building up my confidence in this, right? Understanding that I'm not perfect, understanding that I'm not going to be perfect overnight, understanding that I just start doing this. So I have to learn and grow. And I feel like I have learned and grown in just these short 15 episodes. And I know season 2, I'm going to just grow more. I'm going to learn more technique. I'm going to slow down talking and not talk so fast. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what God does. But I'm excited. I'm super excited. And today I was like, I always be like, okay, so what I'm talking about today. Today I was like, this is the last episode of the season. We just gonna do like a recap, a update, not really structured, right? We have talked about a lot of different things throughout season one, right? We have talked about friendships, we have talked about love, we have talked about community, connection, everything. What else? Like, we have talked about so much audacity, this being the year of the horse. We have talked about so much, right? And I just wanted to recap like on quarter one. I was like, I'm gonna just use this for like a recap. Like, we gonna really just be real and recap. And also, if you follow me on any other socials, but really TikTok, on the 30th of every month, I do a update of this radical self-awareness journey. Since I've been doing it since I turned 39. So, like, let me give y'all a update, give y'all the same update, but a little more. In these last 30 days, so in the month of March, right, I had some challenging days where I felt like I was having moments of depression and moments of anxiety, right? I never say that depression or anxiety is something that I struggle with far as a diagnosis, but I do say that, I'm sorry, I was making sure my mic was on. I do say that I have, and I believe everybody has, depressive moments or moments when their anxiety is very high. So that's one thing that I really realized in the month of March is that I do have these moments. And when I do have these moments, I have to make sure I'm navigating through them and I'm not just becoming irritated or agitated, or I'm not just trying to work through them. Is that like I actually honor them? I honor the moment and say, Candace, okay, what's going on right now? And I may not know exactly what's going on. It may take me a minute to figure out what's really going on. Like, am I overwhelmed with everything that's on my plate? If I can't stop stammering over my words, am I overwhelmed with work? Am I overwhelmed with empowering queens? Am I overwhelmed with just trying to figure out life and make decisions? And I think that's what it is. Like, how you say, like, when you're doing something, you get decision fatigue. I think I get decision fatigue a lot just in my day-to-day life because I'm always making decisions, or I'm always trying to figure out how to make decisions. I'm always trying to figure out what's next. So when you're being futuristic, it's a gift, but it also can be overwhelming, overstimulating at times, because I always say, like, my brain moves so fast. I'm always generating ideas. I'm always thinking about this, always thinking about that. I'm always observing people. And, I was telling somebody I was at my tennis lessons yesterday, and I'm like, we playing tennis, and I'm like, this couple they're really good. But I also noticed like that the boyfriend is always saying something to the girlfriend about like her serve, or not serve. I wanted to say volleyball terms so much, but like the way she, hits the ball, he be like, or you could have did this, you could have did that. And I just was like, I'll be observing him like, so you low key probably be tearing her down at home. You probably like a little controlling and be trying to tell her what to do. And I'm like, Candace, just play tennis. You're not here to counsel nobody. You ain't nobody's therapist. Get out of people's business and play tennis because you suck. You're not good. I don't know what the problem is. I'm like, focus, focus, honey, focus. So, like, you know what I mean? Just being myself is a lot. And I know, and I think I try to kind of like beat myself up about it, because I know a lot of us, since we have access to more information, a lot of us are like, okay, we have ADHD, or we have autism, or we're neurodivergent, and these words are becoming like trendy words. But I'm like, I literally watch these videos and I'm like, I have so many signs and symptoms. And I've really had these signs and symptoms since I was younger. And I'm like, I don't want to necessarily like label myself. And I was telling my friend, I'm like, I don't want to label myself. I also don't want like medication or nothing, but I do want to be able to identify. I want to be able to identify, because if you're not new here, I love to know about me. That's like one of my biggest goals, is to know everything about Candace, to fully figure out Candace, to know all her quirks, to understand Candace. I like understanding in general. I like understanding people, so I really like understanding me. So it's like, okay, I come from the place that like I'll give myself, I'll give myself more grace, like I'll give myself more grace if I know. Like if I know that, okay, I may be suffering with this, or I may be suffering with that. The way that I handle something, or the way that I process things, are truly different. And I think because being a millennial and growing up the way that we did, just really depending on how you were parented, like we always had to try to, we were that generation that the generation before was the crack era, and it messed up a lot of things. So then they pushed everything that they didn't do on us. Like we had to go to college, or our life wasn't gonna be nothing. We had to get married and have the kids and the white picket fence, or our life wasn't gonna be nothing. We were shamed for um having children out of wedlock. We were taught so much about not becoming teenage mothers, and most of us did. Like, so I feel like all this stuff was stuffed down our throat. And no matter how much you tried to rebel or, whatever, you kind of fell in line. You fell in line or you didn't. And if you didn't, it did seem like, your life would get difficult and be more challenging. And I didn't want that for myself. I always wanted better for myself. I always knew I was destined to live a good life. So I was like, okay, that means I got to be a rule follower. I need to follow some of these rules. Not all of them now, y'all. I did my things too. But I really tried to follow the rules because this is what they said do for a good life. And I just wanted a good life. That's all I knew is I wanted a good life. So I try to do all the things for the good life. So when you come from that generation, it's hard to not necessarily be perfect, but yeah, we were kind of like pressured to be the American dream, and no matter if you was black or white, like I'm sure we was pressured in different ways, but you were pressured to be the American dream. So like now when you start to grow and evolve and you start to um figure out life for yourself and figure out this world for yourself and figure out you and figure out the things that you want for you, things start to look different. And I want to understand myself in that way because I put a lot of pressure on myself because I didn't do things the normal way or what they say neurotypical way. So I really believe, the neurodivergence has always been there. Funny thing, one of the girls I was playing tennis with last night, that's what she's saying, like, yeah, I'm neurodivergent. And this don't be like, it don't be correlated. I said, girl, me too. Like, you mean to tell me you want my brain to correlate that, move my body and like, but do this and do that and hit it this way and hit it that way, but then move, but you gotta move. Like, no, my body can't process all that. It's like, what you want me to do? You want me to do the arm motion or you want me to do the body motion? It's so hard. Like, oh my, and I really never noticed this stuff to now. I'm just going around living life, just being like, Candace, you just ain't good at this. You just ain't good at that. But it's like my brain, and that's okay. I don't need to be good at everything, but it was just like my brain literally do not process things in that way. You know what I'm saying? And even though I know everything takes practice, right? And with practice, you can get better, but also not beating yourself up if you don't, And I was like, I was horrible yesterday at tennis. And I was like, when I got in the car, I was like, Candace, don't feel bad because you was horrible at tennis. It's your second time playing. Because that's one thing that I do. I think because I've always been able to learn stuff very quickly and catch on very quickly. So when I don't catch on to something quickly, I'm like, oh, this ain't for me. And I'll stop, or I'll be like, beat myself up, like, why you ain't good at that? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want to do that no more. Like, I don't want to do that no more. I want to um understand that it takes time to learn skills. Okay. You ain't gonna be good at everything. You ain't gonna learn everything really quick. And that doesn't discredit you. And that doesn't mean that you may not excel at it one day. I remember, like recording this podcast for the first time versus now was a whole total struggle. Like the second or third podcast, I was about to give up because it took me like 6 hours to upload it. And now I've been recording a different way. And last week it gave me a run for my money. So I'm just praying that it don't give me a run for my money this week. But I'll try again. Like I'll just keep trying different ways because I've always been a person that's open to try. But I want to try without beating myself up. I want to try without the guilt and the shame. Because I don't deserve that. You know what I'm saying? None of us do. None of us deserve to be our own worst enemy, to drag ourselves down, and belittle ourselves, to demonize ourselves, and to just live in that era of like guilt and shame. That's really, excuse me, like a couple of the words that I'm just like, I'm working my way out of that. All this is just me unpacking, this March, this radical self-awareness in March, the things that have learned and noticed about myself in these last 30 days is that I need to treat myself a little better and really treat myself a little better when it comes to giving myself grace and understanding and like not striving for perfection. Because I say that I don't, right? Because I'm like, how can somebody that Like, I know perfection don't exist, but then I do things that's like contradicting that. So I'm like, okay, notice them things about you. So like I noticed that, and I've noticed this before in life, right? But noticing it and noticing it, accepting it. Notice and acceptance is two different things. So I've noticed it, like, but now I'm accepting it so I can change it. So like accepting that I do also struggle with like control. Like, and a lot of times the control is because I just want to do it. Like, not necessarily because I don't think the other person gonna do it better. It's just like I just want to do everything. Like, really, if it's fun stuff, I was like, I want to do this. But it's like, Candace, you could have gave that task to somebody else. You don't have to be involved in every task. You don't have to have FOMO about tasks that you probably really should take off your plate if you have somebody willing to take them off your plate. I'm like, and I think that's like, I kind of sort of just noticed that today at work. I was working on something and I was like, oh, I should hand this off. But I was like, but I want to do it. This is fun. This is cool. I want to be a part of every part of it. And I know that's something that God wants me to work through for this next chapter of my life when I'm going to be, opening these multi-million dollar businesses. Like, I'm going to have to hand stuff off and be okay with not being part of every single thing and trusting people to do it well. And it's not necessary. I trust people to do it well. You know what I mean? I know people know more than me and can do a lot of stuff better than me. I just want to be involved. I just want to just have my little hands on everything. But that leads to overstimulation, which leads to, some anxiety, which may lead to some depression because I'm having I can't talk, decision fatigue, So I just want to, like, I love that I'm becoming more aware of these things, but also accepting them. So then I can process and work through them and get the tools that I need to work through them. So in this last 30 days of self awareness, radical self awareness, I would say the main thing I learned is to let go. Let go. Let go. You don't got to do everything. Let go. Let somebody else make some decisions for you. And I know I don't have a ton of people right now in my life to make decisions for me. But I even believe, like, if, because some days I'll go back and forth. But if God is preparing me for my husband, I'm going to have to be able to let go and allow him to do things for me, allow him to be the man that I desire for my husband to be and not feel FOMO about it. Like, feel okay about it. Like, okay, yeah, let somebody else do that. But it's still cool. It's still dope. It still turned out great. I didn't have to have my hands in the pot. I could have been doing something else that fulfills me, and something else may just be a hobby. So that's why I feel so good about even like starting these tennis lessons. Cause I'm like, it's hard and very difficult and challenging, and it's a hard sport. And I know I'm only going to be doing it for like 5 weeks. This class is only 5 weeks, but the fact that it's just something I just gotta show up. I just gotta show up. That's it. Put on me a cute outfit, show up, go be good or go be bad. Not good or bad, just you know what I mean? But just try. I just go and try. That's it. It's no like I can't the word is leaving me that I'm searching for, but like is not a task. And I think we all need that. And I know that's a buzzword on social media right now, hobbies. But yeah, like I think hobbies is needed really for Black high achieving women. Black high achieving women will work, kids, work, business, husband, kids, work, do all of these things, community, be here, be there, do all of these things, but struggle with sales, struggling with prioritizing, taking time out and doing more than just like, oh, I'm gonna go hit TJ Maxx real quick, or I'm gonna go get a facial or get my nails or my hair done real quick. That's part of maintenance. We make maintenance self-care, which it is, right? Your maintenance is self-care, but also like just finding something that you could just be. Like, even though tennis is like me doing something, but I'm just going to be me. Like, I'm not playing a game against nobody. I ain't trying to win. I'm just trying to learn something new and see if I like it or not. And I just want to do that more. I don't know if I shared this with y'all on the last episode, but y'all know I was gonna throw this big extravagant party for my 40th birthday. I love celebration. I love celebrating with people, but I was just like, I'm gonna put so much time, effort, and money into this, and I don't want to do that no more. So I'm gonna take a solo trip. I don't know exactly where yet, but I'm gonna take a solo trip, and for the first time, I think ever in my life, like on my actual birth date, like on the actual birth date, spend some time with myself. I think that's cool. I think that's different for me to go into 40 just being with Candace. That's so different for me, y'all. I am a people person. I want to be with people. I want to convene with people all the time. But I know God is telling me in this season, I mean, he's been showing me all this last year, 39. I've spent so much time with myself than I've ever had before. I've never lived by myself. So this is my first time living by myself. And just coming home and just being by myself and being okay with it, actually loving it. So I think going into this year 40, just having that couple days to myself, really after I come off a trip with all my friends and we party and that's a lot of energy. So just pouring that energy back into me, then going right back into it and kicking it with my friends again. It's gonna be a whole couple. I'm gonna be outside for a couple weeks. Then I'm gonna go sit down. I'm gonna go sit on down because I'm going on a trip with my friends first. Then I'm gonna go on a solo trip. Then I'm gonna come back and I am gonna have a little party at my house though. Something simple. Not everybody and their mama. Not a heavy lift. Not a whole bunch of money spent. Then the following week, one of my closest friends is getting married. So after that wedding, I'm sitting down. Even though I said I'm gonna be outside like I never been outside before this summer because it was a rough winter. But I'm gonna sit down somewhere. I'm gonna sit my tail down somewhere. Do you hear me? Because I'm gonna need a little break. But then I'm gonna pop back out. I only need a quick little break. Then I'm gonna be back outside with it. Back outside with it. No, no, no. But for real. Because baby, listen. And I'm gonna try my hardest not to complain because it's hot and I just want me a new fan. So yeah. So listen, I'm excited. I am anticipating. Is it another word I should have used for that? I don't know. I'm anticipating what's next. I'm anticipating this next chapter of life. I'm anticipating what other things will God reveal to me about me. What other things will God reveal to me about my journey? I think we all should strive to figure out more about us. And some people, they already great at that. So they didn't really struggle with allowing the world and things to deter them from their true self, right? But if that ain't your story, do some deep work. Open your eyes wide inside. Open your eyes wide inside. That was good. Thank you, God. And what I mean by that is, our eyes look externally, like they look outwardly. They look at other people, they look at other things. But, if you could flip them around, if you could flip them around and look internally, look inside to view yourself and see what's going on in yourself so you can understand yourself more, so you could pour into yourself more and love yourself more and value yourself more. Do that. Do that. I think that makes for a good life. And a lot of other things make for a good life too, but I think that's number one. And I think that's just the hill I'ma stay on for a while. I just am. I lived so many years of not being on that hill. And I love that hill. And I love that for y'all. Anybody else that's on that hill. Anybody else that is, I don't know why I can't talk today. Anybody else that is exploring themselves, exploring more about them and who they are and what they know and what their purpose is and, what they're going to do on this earth. Keep doing that, right? And do it with an open heart, an open mind. Do it with conversation, to the creator, whoever you choose, your creator, whatever your thing is. But yeah, I'm excited and I am anticipating great things to happen. I always have said for a long time that my 40s are going to be the best years of my life. And I truly believe that. I believe God is going to open up so many doors. I believe that God is going to sit me in rooms that I belong in. I believe God is going to put people in my life that belong there, that's going to stay there. I believe God is going to blow my mind. I believe He's going to blow my mind every day in a great way, in a good way. Yeah, I believe that. And I'm going to anticipate. I was talking to somebody on the last podcast and she was like, she just anticipate God to do good things in her life every day. And I said, I need to anticipate that too, but also equate good things. Like if it's not this big grand gesture, sometimes I could tend to overlook it. So that's something I'm working on too, that like those small things matter too. Like those super simple things matter too. They don't have to be something grand that happens every day for it to be a good day. It doesn't have to be something grand for it to be a good gesture or a good thing. I really have a lot of things to be happy about, be proud about, be excited about, just as much as I have things to be frustrated about, to be sad about, to be overstimulated about, to be tired about. But you just got to pick which ones you choose to highlight. And then in my life, I have highlighted the negatives a lot, very much a learned behavior. And for this next year of my life, until the end of my life, I'm going to highlight the positive things, not overlook the negative things, not let them affect me because I'm human, so they will, but they don't got to be the highlight reel. I looked at myself and I was like, a lot of my highlight reel is a lot of the negative things that happened to me in my life. And I want to shift that. I want my highlight reel about my life to be a lot of the great things that are happening, a lot of the great things that have happened. One of the things that I was going to do at my party that I still really want to do is ask anybody that's willing to that I have encountered in my life to make a short video about something that I said to them that motivated them, that changed them, that made them think different, something that I did for them, a moment that I made them laugh, or just any way I impacted their life in a positive manner. I want them to share that with me because by me being such a self-reflective person, I need that. Sometimes I need those moments to see how I'm really showing up in the world because that matters to me. And not for me to show up in the world perfectly, not for me to not be my authentic self and be a little a-hole sometimes because I am. We gonna say what it is. But I also know I put good out into the world. And sometimes you just need a reminder, and that's okay. Like, you know what I mean? Nowadays, people act like we ain't supposed to get validation. Like we're human beings like that. We ain't supposed to want to be celebrated. We ain't supposed to want to hear good things from people about ourselves. Yes, we are, and that's okay. I'm gonna make y'all feel safe with that again. That's fine. You ain't gotta be like where you need it, right? You shouldn't need it, right? You shouldn't seek external validation to the point where if you don't get it, it's bothering you internally. No, because you already validate yourself enough internally, and the other stuff that people do is a bonus. And sometimes we need those bonuses. When you used to go to school and they said do extra credit, and you did that extra credit because you wanted those extra points just in case, you wanted to slack on the test, or just in case you did bad on the test or missed the homework assignment, those extra credit points would be like your buffer. So guess what? Sometimes you'd be a little low on self-validation. You'd be a little low on feeling good about yourself. You'd be a little low on self-confidence. So sometimes you may need that outside source to be that buffer, to be that extra credit. Yeah. Get a little extra credit. I need to hear from some other people that I'm doing good. I need to hear from some other people that they love me. I need to hear from some other people that they value me. I need to hear from some other people that they enjoy my company and enjoy my presence, and that I impacted their life in a good way, because that's what I set out to do. So yeah, don't give me that extra credit. I like that little analogy. I'm telling y'all, God be giving me stuff, and I don't even know. I just be talking. Thank you, God. But no, y'all, I didn't want to make this episode super long, but I'm sure it's still long because y'all know I be talking. But I am grateful, thankful, and actually honored if you took a minute out your day, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and sat and listened to any of my podcasts. If you liked, if you comment, if you shared, if you followed me, if you supported this in any capacity, thank you. Thank you. Literally, thank you. Ooh, why am I getting emotional? I don't like that. No, but yeah, but I think because I really honor people that value me. I really honor people that give me their time, even if I don't know them. And that's even more. If I don't know you and you came across my podcast and you listened, thank you. Every listen, every like, every share, every comment, every subscriber is helping me believe in the instruction that I feel I have been given, and believe in my gifts. So I appreciate it. I truly appreciate it. And I'm going to just get better. I'm going to get better. I know all the time quality sound may not be perfect, but I'm going to get better. So keep on watching, and thank you. And season 2 is going to be amazing. Y'all know I play too much. Season 2 going to be dope. Season 2 going to be fire. And we may talk about some of the same things we talked about in season 1, but we're going to have conversations. I'm going to bring some people in. We're going to talk about some stuff. We're going to share our perspectives. I love to talk with other people, hear their perspectives and share their perspectives. And I want y'all to engage. I may even do some of these live. I don't know. I'm just let God lead me. But y'all know, we've been staying consistent, so we ain't gonna stop now. Our last Speak, Heal, Grow, Her Truth, Her Power cards, that I know ain't dropped yet in quarter 1, but they coming. They on that bingo board, so they getting dropped, y'all. I promise y'all, they getting dropped. And I pray that when they drop, that y'all buy them. Don't let me do this in vain. Where did y'all just get a hiccup from? So let's see, what question are we going to get today? Come on, come on. Look, these is y'all know these the prototype, so they ain't. Let's see, is this something we already got? We did get this already when we first started, so let's see something else. We got that already. This is 33 cars. Why we keep getting the same stuff? We only have 15 episodes. Okay. If peace was a person standing in front of you right now, what would they tell you to stop carrying around? Bars. If peace was a person standing in front of you right now, what would they tell you to stop carrying around? Don't that just go with what we was talking about, y'all? He's intentional. Oh, if peace was the person standing in front of me right now, they would tell me stop carrying around what I just talked about. Guilt and shame. Do not guilt yourself and shame yourself into doing better. Do not guilt yourself. Do not shame yourself into doing better. Flow into it. Flow into doing better. Flow into walking into your true self. Positively talk to yourself into doing better. You do not have to have negativity or this harshness to do better. You just got to try every day. You ain't got, and if you mess up one day, don't grab guilt, don't grab shame. Leave them on the counter to whenever they need it, because sometimes I believe everything is needed. Leave them on the counter, and you just keep trying. Keep trying every day. Trying every day. If you eat the cupcake today, try not to eat it tomorrow. Okay? You know, if you eat the healthy meal today, give yourself a pat on the back. Yes, it's okay. Like, the world try to make you believe that everything you has to do has to just be so rigid and so consistent. And if you ain't, you lazy, you this and you that. No, you who you are. And we all work and operate differently. And what works for you may not work for me. But the problem is if you don't get up and try every day. That's where the problem lies. And when I say try, really try. 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 Okay? So that's all I got today. That's all I got to say today. I love that I get to. I love that I get to do this. I love that I get to do this. Even every time if I don't want to do it, I'll be tired, y'all. I feel so energized after doing it. So I thank y'all for tuning in to episode 15, season 1, the last episode for the season. I will catch y'all on season 2. Me and the guest, I don't know who it will be. I don't know what day is going to drop. But if y'all follow me on socials, okay? If y'all follow me on socials, I'm going to keep y'all updated. But y'all already know this episode will drop Thursdays at what time? Okay, 8 p.m. on all major platforms. Friday, 12 p.m. on YouTube. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Help your girl get a bingo stamp, okay? No, but seriously, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And I thank y'all for tuning in to Talk and Tell the podcast. And I will catch y'all on season 2. Bye, y'all.